Hi, I'm Sherry Buckner with Grace Monroe Home and Design with the Pros, and today I'm excited to show you how to make this gorgeous peppermint Christmas wreath. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing you're going to need to do is get an evergreen wreath, and the kind that works well for these designs are the tiered wreaths. You can get these at any Hobby Lobby or Michael's or anywhere like that. And when you get it home, you're going to want to straighten it out, straighten all the greenery out. Make sure that it's fluffed out nice and even everywhere. This makes it much easier if you do that starting out with it. Okay, so I have my wreath ready. And what you're going to need is a sign. We're going to use this one. The one that we're going to show you how to do, you actually can use any color scheme, anything like that. If you have something special that you want to use in yours and go with whatever colors you want, that's fine. This is our Merry Christmas signs. Okay, I'm going to connect my sign first to the wreath. And I have a pipe cleaner that I've twisted around the hanger here in the back. And I have my hand where I want to put the sign. So I'm just going to lay it down and take the pipe cleaners and twist it . Here in the back. And twist it around several times so it'll be good and secure for you. Okay. And just to keep this from moving, this wire on the back, I also take some of these of the green stems from the evergreen and just twist those around the wire. That just gives you a little extra support. Okay, so I have that where I want it. Okay, and now I'm going to make my bow. And I'm going to get a piece of wire that, this is the 24 gauge wire that works well for making bows. And I'm going to have it about 24 inches or so long. I don't measure this, just pull it out and make sure that when you loop it together, because you're going to double it like this, that it's long enough to go in your bow maker and then come underneath. That just keeps it secure and out of the way for you. Okay, and I've got my ribbons. For this bow, and since we're going with red and white, I'm going to use a peppermint striped and a polka dot. And then I'm also going to add some mesh in with it too. And I'm going to make my tails now. And there again, I do not measure. They're about 12 inches long, so you would need to cut them about 24 inches to make them about 12 inches long. And what I do is I cut one of them usually, and then I just measure my ribbon with the second one and third one and on down like that. And I'm going to have the mesh go throughout here. Therefore, I'm not going to add that in tails for the bow, but I am going to add it into the bow. And I just drop my ribbon on the floor. It makes it much easier. And now I'm going to start with my loops, and these loops are about 6 inches to make them a really full bow. And when you put your ribbon in, you're going to have to twist because the decoration is just on one side of this ribbon. So you're going to twist it because you always want the decoration facing up. And now, to make sure that my loops are the same size on each side, I just pull them up like this and make sure that they're even. Now I'm doing the exact same thing with my peppermint stripe ribbon. And I'm going to pull that up and make sure that they're even. And then I'm going to also do it with the mesh. And now when I'm putting these in, I'm leaving about 1 inch on the side here just to make sure it's held well. And then when I start, that's my 3 ribbons that I'm using for this. So I start over again with the one that I started with, which was the polka dot. And I make sure that the polka dots are facing up. So make sure to twist your ribbon so that it is facing up. And if you don't have a bow maker, I highly recommend these. They make the job so much easier. The bows are just as pretty, and it saves a lot of time. I can hand tie bows, but this is just so much easier and quicker. Okay. And I can go ahead and cut off my ribbon. I cut it about 1 inch. And I'm going to go ahead and cut off the polka dot one, because I'm only doing, since I've got 3 ribbons, I'm just doing 2 loops on each side for each ribbon. And now just make sure to mash it down so that it's flattened here as much as you can do. Okay. And now with holding your thumb on that, you bring your wire up and you take the end that is the 2 pieces and you pull it through the loop that you've made on the other end, and then just tighten it. And then I can move my bow maker, and I tighten it first by squeezing it really hard that way, and then you're going to separate your 2 ribbons and you're going to bring them around to the back and just twist those. And you can twist the bow or the ribbon, whichever works best for you, but twist it 3 or 4 times. And then you're just going to straighten out, fluff out your bow that you've made. And just pull them forward and fluff. And I use my hand to kind of plump them out like that. Just pull them forward as you're doing that. Okay, and then there's my bow. So now I'm going to take the wire that is in the back and I'm going to secure my bow. It's going to be even with the top of my sign. But like I said, if you're using a different sign, just put it even across from each other, just like that. And I'm connecting this to the inner ring of the wreath here. Okay, and just twist several times and we'll go back and cut off that excess wire later. There's our bow. Okay, the next thing we're going to put in is our poinsettias, and you'll need 3 of these. I'm using the kind that just clip on here. That makes it a lot easier for rearranging if you don't have them in the right place and that kind of thing. But the first place I'm going to put it is right here on this side of my bow. Okay, and then I'm going to put the second one down here on this side. So we're really just framing the bow here. But this one I want to be kind of out towards the outer edge a little more. And then the last one is going right down here in the bottom. And like I said, you can do this same design over and over with any color, any signs. And especially if you're wanting to sell the wreaths, this may be a good design to do because you can make them quickly. Okay, now once we get that in, we are going to start with adding the mesh around the wreath. And I've cut some here already, some strips, and you're just going to take it, and because these are wire, they work well for twisting around whatever you're holding in the wreath. You don't actually have to use other wire to do that. It saves time. And you're just going to take your end here and just twist it around. And then I'm going to bring it around behind my sign here. And I'm just going to twist it again. And you can always go back and rearrange this. And I'm starting back where I left off with that piece. And now you can actually do this all with one piece if you like. I just find it easier to go ahead and cut some pieces to work with. But if you want to use it right off the roll, that is fine. We're coming around the bottom here. And with this one, because it's a little bit longer and we're coming around, I'm going to actually use one of my stems here, and I'm just going to twist it about halfway, and then I'm going to take the rest of it around and twist the end here. And then just straighten it out. And then right where I left off right there, I'm just going to twist this around. To right about even with the poinsettia. And then I'm going to come around with this piece and I'm going to twist it over here. And like I said, you just feel free to do this any way that you want to. Okay. Now, next we're going to use our cute little glitter stems, and you can find these at any of the craft stores as well. I like these little curly Q ones, but you can, whatever you like. This is going to be your design. And I'm going to start here in the center and just put one right in the center, and I'm going to glue it. Use my glue pen. It's what I use. If you use a glue gun, that's fine. But I'm just taking and twisting some of the green around that stem. And I will go back later and cut off the excess. Okay. Put one over here as well. And I'm still going to put one over here behind the bow. So that it balances it out. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom here. Okay, now I'm putting in some glitter hydrangeas, and you can get these at Michael's. I actually got these at Michael's, and but you can also find them online. So check our vendors list and just go to their websites, and you can find some online for you. And I'm just kind of placing these around. Where I've got some empty places. for these, I'm just, again, twisting one of the green stems around the stem. Now I'm going to add some of the ornaments, and these are just some peppermint balls that I've gotten. And I just dip these directly into the glue and glue them right where I want them. I'm going to put one right here, top and center. And you can just hold them for just a second, and that will make sure they're in there securely. I'll put one over here. And you can just add as many as you want to these. And we've also got some smaller ones that we're going to add. And now what I'm doing here, because the bow is here, I'm just bringing some of these stems around behind it to make sure that I've got stems with glue on them so that it will hold it in place. Okay, and now I think I'm going to add a couple of red, just solid red. And I'm doing the same thing, just going to dip them directly in the glue. And then I've got some even smaller that I'm going to add. Just sprinkle them around wherever you want to add them. And now I've got a couple of little candies, and these you can find at Hobby Lobby. I'm just going to add some. And there again, I'm just twisting one of the green stems around. Now I'm going to add some little peppermint balls. And now a little tip, if you do not want a lot of the green showing in your wreath, you can just go and cut the ends off like that. A lot of designers do this. For one thing, it makes the wreath look fuller because you're not seeing a lot of the green, so you're just seeing the ornaments and things, so it does make it look fuller. But you can just go through and clip off as many as you want. And there you go. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing your designs when you get them finished.